Many people have suggested ideas or theories about how life on Earth has changed or evolved. The theory of evolution by natural selection, proposed by Charles Darwin in the 1800s, has stood the test of time. Not everyone agreed with Darwin, as his theory was quite controversial at the time. The theory went against widespread religious belief about how life on Earth developed. He couldn't explain how new, useful characteristics appeared or how they were passed on to offspring. And he didn't have enough evidence to convince people, as not many people had studied how organisms change over time. Another scientist named Lamarck proposed a different theory based on the evidence that he could see. He believed that if an organism used a characteristic a lot during its lifetime, for example a giraffe stretching its neck to reach leaves, then it would pass this new characteristic on to its offspring, who would also have long necks. Lamarck's theory of evolution states that organisms adapt to their environment by changing their characteristics. These new adaptations are passed to their offspring. We now know that the genes of an organism are passed on to their offspring, and that they wouldn't contain any new information about characteristics that the parents have acquired during their lifetime. It's because of this new evidence that this theory has been rejected. Nowadays, Darwin's theory is widely accepted by scientists, whereas other theories, including Lamarck's, have been discounted. This is for several reasons. Fossil records provide evidence for evolution. They show how species have become more complex as time has moved on. The layers of rock in this cliff will contain fossils, just like this one. The rocks at the bottom of the cliff are the oldest, and they contain the simplest fossils like these that lived around 450 million years ago. DNA evidence shows that all living things have some similarities in their DNA, meaning they must have come from the same simple organisms. Organisms that are closely related have very similar DNA. Also, natural selection can be seen in action. For example, populations of bacteria that have become resistant to antibiotics over time, just like MRSA. Since Darwin, no one has put forward a more effective theory. This is why Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection is widely accepted today. Darwin presented his idea in a book called On the Origin of Species. This allowed people to read about his theory. He also shared his ideas with other scientists by giving presentations about his idea. Nowadays, scientists publish their discoveries in publications called journals. However, before any new work is published, the evidence has to be validated by a process called peer review. Here, the results are checked by other scientists who may copy the experiments themselves to check the reproducibility. Also, scientists may meet at conferences to discuss new ideas and findings.